Hello there. Today's video is on chkdsk, but we have to go into command line. So if you're on Windows Vista or Server 2008 or Windows 7, type in cmd into your search box, right click, run as administrator. If you're on 2000 or XP or 2003, you can just click start, run, and then cmd in there, and then just OK. The reason why we have to run as administrator is because we have to elevate the command prompt so that we can run these commands on these later operating systems. So you can see all of the switches that are available on chkdsk by, let me make this window a little larger. There we go. chkdsk/?. But as far as I'm concerned, there's only one switch for chkdsk. A lot of times you'll see recommended to run a chkdsk/F for fix, and actually I have two drives on this computer. I have start and computer. I have a C drive and an E drive. I'm going to run this first on the E drive, so the chkdsk/F E : is the proper syntax there, and there's really nothing on that drive, so it runs fairly quickly. But the better option is to run a chkdsk/R for recover. That will try to recover lost files as opposed to fix the file system, and that takes a little longer to run, and it still gives me a similar report, but it's a much more thorough than the /F. Now this is on the second hard drive, the E drive. Should I want to run this on the drive that Windows is installed on, then that takes a little bit more work. So try this again, chkdsk/R, and the drive that Windows is installed on is the C drive, which is currently in use. So it gives me a message right here. Cannot run because the volume is in use by another process. Would you like to schedule this next volume to be checked at the next time Windows restarts? So I'll say yes, Y for yes, enter. So it's going to check it next time the system reboots. Now it's important that you don't do this while the system is in use, because this system's going to go down for at least 10 minutes. So since this is a server, I have to give it a reason for the restart. We'll say maintenance plan. And while it restarts, then it'll do the chkdsk as it restarts. Now this is important if you ever get a blue screen. A lot of times you'll see a blue screen of 0x and then a bunch of zeros and a 7B on the end of it. Now there's usually parentheses with a bunch of other stop codes in there. I don't really care about those. I care about the main one, the 7B. And that's because generally I find people are running some kind of file sharing program or torrents on their machine, and they've not been chkdisking, they haven't been disk cleanupping, and they haven't been running a defrag on a regular basis. Their file system winds up getting dirty to the point that Windows will not boot anymore. A lot of people think that means their hard drives failed and it needs to be replaced, but generally that just means Windows needs to be reinstalled because you haven't taken very good care of it. At that point it showed me an option to press any key to escape out of this, but I didn't push it, so at this point it's going to be running for probably 10 minutes doing this. But if you want your operating system back, it's important that you do that. So a blue screen means though that the operating system won't start. So I want you to see how to repair from that, because the chkdsk is usually the fix on that. So let me open up my Windows 7 machine, and I have a CD put in here. I do, yep. And it's going to say press any key, so I'm going to press any key at this point. Now if this were Windows XP or Server 2003, I can't do this on 2000, it would have said press F2 to enter the recovery console. I'm not going to be showing the recovery console in this video. I'm going to be doing this the Vista and the 7 way. And I'm going to try not to use the mouse because virtual PC will mess with my video and show two mice. But again, like I was saying, if you get a 7B blue screen error, then this is the method of how to repair them a lot of times. It doesn't always work, but it's usually my first go-to whenever I get a 7B blue screen error. Alright, so this is what it looks like. Let me move the mouse out of the way. There we go. So this is what it looks like when you boot to the CD of Windows 7. So I'm using English, so next. Now there's an option right down here that says repair your computer, that's what we're going to do. And then that's going to give us 5 options. First off, it's going to search for the install of Windows 7. There it is. So I hit enter, next. Alright, so I've got 5 options here. I've got startup repair, which is good, system restore, which is good, system image recovery, which is good as well, memory diagnostic, but really what we want is the command prompt. So I'm going to click on the command prompt option here. And then, alright, so we're currently in the X drive, but I want to go into, it's either going to be the C drive or the D drive. So at this point, I could do a dir for a directory of the drives. I know for mine it's going to be the D drive. That's the drive that's got all the files, because if I do a dir of the C drive, there's nothing going on there. If I do a dir of the E drive, that's looks like that's my CD. Dir of the F drive says nothing. So dir of the D drive is it because it's got users in there. If I actually do dir/a of the D drive, that's going to show everything: recycle bin, autoexec.bat, config.sys, users folder. This is a boot system. This is a bootable drive. It's the main drive for the operating system. Alright, so let's clear the screen. Clear the screen, and chkdsk d/r, and then it was the D drive, d:/enter. And this is going to perform a check disk on my boot drive where Windows is installed. It's going to take just as long as the 08 drive, which is still running. But hopefully, knock on wood, all my operating systems will boot back up, and I'll be able to get my pictures off and save my videos or whatever it is that I'm worried about losing. A lot of times this comes with a like I said, a 7B error. It's generally when people are using file sharing programs or downloading a lot of torrents and they're not running a check disk, a disk defragment, and a disk cleanup on a regular basis. It should be a disk cleanup, should be in the order of a defrag, a cleanup, and a should be the order of a, well, defrag should be the last. You can run the cleanup and the check disk and the defrag last, but you should run all 3 of those on a regular basis if you're doing file sharing or torrents on a Windows machine. So hopefully you've learned something from these videos, and you'll get to play with check disk and get to save somebody's files and be the hero. Thanks for watching.